Hey there, Canada. The Bank of Canada just cut the overnight rate yesterday, which should make borrowing cheaper, right? But instead of going down, Canadian 5-year bond yields actually went up. What's going on? Let's break it down in simple terms. Normally, when the Bank of Canada lowers rates, bond yields go down too. Lower rates usually mean the economy needs a boost, so investors buy bonds for safety, pushing yields lower. But this time, the opposite happened. Why? Two big reasons. First, the rate cut wasn't a surprise. Investors already saw it coming, so when it happened, there was no big reaction. What really mattered was what the Bank of Canada said. Instead of promising more rate cuts, they played it safe, saying they'll wait and see before cutting again. That made investors rethink how low rates were actually going to go. But the bigger reason? The US bond market. The US 10-year Treasury yield jumped recently, and since Canadian bonds follow US trends, our yields rose too. Think of it like this. Canadian bonds are kind of like the younger sibling of the US bonds. When US bond yields rise, Canada's tend to follow. Why? Because investors compare returns. If US bonds start paying more money, Canadian bonds need to keep up and stay competitive. So even though the Bank of Canada cut rates, the rising US yields overpowered that move. Investors started demanding higher returns on Canadian bonds too, which pushed our yields up. And let's not forget the bigger picture here. This all started with US tariffs on Canadian goods, which are expected to slow our economy. This isn't just a bond market issue, it's a wake-up call. Canada is too dependent on the US for trade, and when their economy sneezes, we catch a cold. If this trade war drags on, we need to start thinking beyond just our southern neighbor. Diversifying trade with Europe, Asia, and other global partners isn't just a good idea, it's a necessity for economic stability. So what's the takeaway? Bond yields don't just move because of Canadian decisions, they're tied to what happens in the US. But this whole situation should remind us that we need to build a more resilient economy. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and follow for more updates.